But what if he just chose not to come home? So this is Virgil's story. I didn't mean to stay missing. In fact, I didn't know I was missing at all. I had every intention of going back home to my family, my wife, and child I had yet to meet, after I left for France. Would they believe me if I said so now? Would they be hurt if I told them I forgot them for a while? The fighting was massive tornado in my mind of blood spraying, loud noises, dislodging dirt, putrid air burning my eyes and lungs, and body parts. So many body parts. Can someone tell me why 30-year-olds are digging trenches better than soldiers a decade younger? Then it happened. All I remember is pure white and pain. So much pain, I for sure thought I was dead. I woke up in a room on a small cot surrounded by similar soldiers on the same style cots in a gigantic room with a very high vaulted ceiling. The cot was so small my feet were hanging off the bottom. I guess they expected men to be 5'9" at most. Unfortunately for my larger frame, I just didn't fit. At least I had 2 feet to hang. Some of these boys seemed to have only one. When I woke, my memories were in fragments. 5-minute movie clips followed by sprays of bullets and pain so horrid it was chasing them away. I tried to remember little things like who I was, but the only thing I seem to remember is where I was, and that was in danger. They told me I had an injury to my head. They found me passed out in a ditch with most of my uniform burned off under 4 other very heavy dead cadavers. I was lucky as one could be in this place. I didn't lose a single limb. Then the angel appeared. She called me John. Identifying me had become impossible, and John seemed like a good, strong name. At first, before I regained my ability to talk, she would just sit and talk to me. Sometimes she would sit and read to me when I was done feeding the other patients. When I began to walk again, she would walk with me. I started noticing the little things, like the dimple next to her right eye that would appear when she was holding back tears, or the way she would use her thumb to rub circles on the back of her other hand when she wanted to talk about something important to her. Slowly, I fell in love with this angel who gave me a reason to learn to speak again. My memories didn't come till the war was 3 years past, the end of the war. They didn't come slow either. They came fast and hot and all at once. Then came the guilt. The guilt for letting my parents think I was dead. The guilt that my heart had found a tenant other than Hannah. The guilt that I left her with my child to fend the world alone. Yet, I had a responsibility for my angel. With her belly swollen with my seed, how could I go back now? I told myself I would go one day, but not now. Not while my new life was here. I tried to write and never could put it to paper. Decades later, I went to visit and stayed in the shadows. I found out my child was a girl called Margaret on her wedding day. I watched it from a distance. Everyone seemed to have moved on. Hannah was no longer mine. Our child belonged to her new husband. I had to live with that. I returned to France to my angel and our 5 boys, and never returned. It was better if they thought I was dead.